Russian intervention in the Balkans is intensifying and Greece has to face new situations. Russia's involvement in the Balkans and the creation of situations, even war, through Serbia is now gaining momentum. At the moment, Russian companies are being established in Serbia at a furious pace. Russian private companies on the one hand, critical military sectors on the other. This means that Greece will be directly affected, while at the same time its government deals with the cruel psychological war that it is waging on the Greeks and calls it a government project within the framework of democracy. Regardless of the size and level of Russia's intervention in the Balkans, it's already clear that the Prespa agreement will, from the facts, fall into a state of non-existence, and now Germany will call us Auf Wiedersehen. The events that interest us begin with the beginning of the Russo-Ukrainian War. After the start of that operation in the Russian land of Ukraine, and because the ill-rooted and poor of allies and raw materials, Europe took meaningless measures against Russia, driving itself once again shooting itself in the foot as a permanent victim. Russia began to transfer funds and quickly establish companies in Serbia. Companies that happen to be useful in military operations as well. They are unclear how many there are. So far, the Russian companies and who they really belong to. But even so, the many officially Russian companies in Serbia are growing rapidly, subsidiaries of which have already started operating in Montenegro and Skopje. Right now, officially in northern Macedonia, or more northern Greece, 84 Russian companies are officially operating. At the same time, Serbia, with the permission of Russia, of course, announced that it will give Russian natural gas to the Skopjean brothers, otherwise he described them, which buys it from Russia at a 90% discount. In addition, Greece already exports fuel to the state of Skopje for the production of electricity, with the result that this state appears to be the most secure, after Serbia, in terms of energy reserves in southern Europe. Any comparison, even with such countries, is dramatically against us because in this government, 3 sing and 2 dance. In Serbia, according to data from Focus, since the start of the war in Ukraine, approximately 10 Russian companies per day have been established, and in total, approximately 300 Russian companies have been established in Serbia to date. There are suspicions that companies that do not appear to be Russian are secretly owned by Russians. It's characteristic that only on March 25th, in a single day, 50 Russian companies were founded in Belgrade. These companies are mainly active in the high technology, telecommunications, and transport sectors. Everyone understands the importance of these companies in possible pre-war planning. The activity of these Russian companies had, as a direct result, the installation of 10,000 new skilled Russian workers. Serbia's economic growth is evident, especially in the construction industry, as naturally many Serbian workers are employed, and in wartime Serbia develops. The main reason why Russian companies settle in Serbia is the so-called friendly environment. The environment is indeed friendly both at the governmental and popular level, but that is not the main reason. The main reason is Serbia's strategic position in the Balkans and the fact that Russia made sure in advance to keep Serbia as its safe ally, scandalously helping it, something our allies never did for our Greece, and upgraded its role in the region. But Serbia also did not forget what happened to the German and NATO warmongers who burned it twice in 60 years. Other reasons why Serbia is preferred, in addition to the above, are the existing uninterrupted direct air flights, the Cyrillic script, which is the same as Russian script, the orthodoxy of those countries that adhere to the holiday calendar according to the old so-called calendar, and the large but active dispersion of Serbs in many important countries in the world. Russia, with its business invasion of Serbia, has already shown its ambition in Turkey, Egypt, Montenegro, and in North Macedonia, according to the name given to it by the parties of the Democratic Arc. And already the Russian companies of Serbia started their activities in Podgorica and Skopje. And in Skopje there was a business surprise. There, telecommunications are owned by the German multinational. This company is T-Com, and when it bought the Greek telephone company OTE, it changed the name to Cosmote because there were no Latin letters in the word OTE, and fatally took over Cosmote of Skopje, which was then number one. It closed it, and thus Germany acquired a monopoly of Skopje's telecommunications. And now Skopje was invaded by Serbian telecommunication company MTL Serbia. As is well known, the control of the telecommunications of a country or part of them is a powerful power factor in a conflict or is a power multiplier. The Serbian company may have been founded with Russian funds because the size of the investment and the time its expansion takes place raises many suspicions. But who cares about the financial development of the company when its purpose is something else? From a strategic point of view, through the companies, Russia is attempting a pre-war exit into the Adriatic Sea to the west via Montenegro. That is, Russia wants to have an exit to the Adriatic Sea, that is between Greece and Italy. Okay, the Adriatic near the Ionian Sea. Via Montenegro, since the US European imperialists blockaded Serbia from the sea, and the expulsion of Germany from the Balkans by approaching the Aegean Sea, bypassing Turkey, rendering useless thus the value of the Bosporus and the Hellespont Straits. And Bosnia is going to be used as a distraction to the ridiculous military and energy power of Germany. Bosnia is still being preserved because Serbia, therefore Russia, wants it. The Second World War continues as normal. And now Greece again is isolated and in an increasingly worse position. It's in dire straits because it has no real allies. Its leaders are appointed by its so-called allies on the instructions of the establishment. Greece already surrounded by Turkey and its satellites, and now Russia enters the same space. The complexity of the situation is formed in such a way that the Greek problem can only be solved with weapons. And while Greece should be preparing for the worst, the government is sneakily disarming it to make itself an easy victim. The prime minister here in Greece had announced that he was at war with Russia. This was also said by a member of the same family, to whom someone should finally tell her that she should just stop politics and just close her mouth. And why be at war when you can benefit? While the events around us are getting worse around Greece, that is, the leadership is arguing that it's all someone else's fault, and now that it's Putin's fault. The intense activity of the Russians and the descent of the so many Russians into Serbia is not for good. Time is running out for Greece. Turkey has already almost surrounded Greece, and Russia is targeting the Balkans after Ukraine. So the Greek people must consolidate, and they are alone, and organize themselves because the magnitude of their inaction will be proportional to the tribulations that they will have to endure. This is an article by Christos Mantsiaris. I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. In other words, Russia is out for expansion, to take over whatever it had before the fall of the Iron Curtain. I mean, that's what it looks like. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.